Alhamdulillah, Amin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alright, we are here today, all of us, in this special assembly for our Wednesday Ramadhan Lecture. You have, yes, this is the last one. And you have watched the first one with the girls from grade 9, where we did laugh, lesson, and the struggle that we had in Ramadan. And then last week, you have watched as well the session with grade 10 boys, where we talked about how the two hadith, you have watched and listened about the two hadith that Rasulullah SAW talked about Ramadan. And today, we have this session live in front of you. It's a special session. It's the last weekly Ramadan lecture for this year. And today, I will be accompanied by teachers, okay, special selected among them, where we will be talking, inshallah, about the last 10 days of Ramadan. We're coming to this last part of Ramadan where Rasulullah SAW mentioned it as this is the best period. And this is where we are going to get if you remember back when we talked about the design of Ramadan, this is the taqwa. This is the objective of Ramadan. We're going to get it here. So today, inshallah, I would like to invite the teachers to come and sit with me in front. I will start with Ustaz Muhammad Yahya from Samia. Mr. Muhammad Bilal, our pilot. Alright, moving on to the third speaker, Teacher Fatin. And finally, last but not least, my colleague, Teacher Miss Nur Shahira. Alright, students, girls and boys, you have been, if you still didn't get this, you will get it, okay? Notes about 10 practical tips to maximize the last 10 months. This is what we're going to talk about today. Okay, these 10 tips will be taught by us today, inshallah. So, this note that has been printed and given to you, don't lose it, don't leave it at school. Bring back to your house today and make sure this is visible to you every day, starting from tomorrow. You may want to use your fridge magnet and put it at the fridge, or have it, or your wardrobe in your bedroom. The most important thing is that you can see and you can always ponder upon this 10 tips for you to get the best of this 10 nights, inshallah. Right. Okay. Remember when we talked about the beginning of Ramadan, when we talked when we do the design, Ramadan by design. Okay, and I tell you that you are being given a box, an empty white box, for you to take care, for you to design it, for you to decorate it, for you to fill it in, and for you to take care of it for the whole 1 month, 30 days. You have been taking care of it for today is 18. Today is 18 day of fasting. Okay, tomorrow is 19. The tomorrow night is the beginning of your exam about that box. You will be tested because why? This is the period where Allah Subhanahu wa Taala mentioned in Al Quran. Okay, there is one night within these last 10 nights that is khayrun min al-shahr. Okay, you will see the number only 1,001. But it is actually better than 1,001. Okay, when you see something that is better than what, you don't know the limit. It is better than 1,001. It may reach 2,001. It may reach 100,001. You don't know. The number goes infinity. The most important thing is that it is better than 1,001. And that night, that particular one night, named as Laylatul Qadr, is what Allah SWT mentioned in Al-Quran, تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالْرُوحُ فِيهَا. That the angels will come down. Not only the angels, وَالْرُوحُ. Who is Ruh here? Ruh here is Jibreel alayhi salam. Allah SWT nicknamed Jibreel as Ruh. Because why? Because Jibreel brings Al-Quran. And Al-Quran is the Ruh for ourselves. That is why Jibreel is nicknamed as Ruh. So imagine, Jibreel only comes down to earth once a year on that particular night. Who met with Jibreel before? The prophets. They are the special person who met with Jibreel to get the revelation from Allah SWT. If you are during the night of Al-Qadr, standing, praying, reciting Quran, doing good things, you will be visited by Jibreel alayhi salam. And imagine if you are saying to Allah, "Oh Allah, give me success in this world and the akhirah." And the angels, including Jibreel himself, is saying Ameen to your dua. What will happen? The best angels is going to be here. So that is why this night is special. It is more than 1,000 months. The reward, the things that you will get from it, it is better than 1,000. So that is why Rasulullah SAW, during these last 10 nights, it's been mentioned in a lot of hadith that he will multiply the efforts of Qiyamul Layl. He will multiply the good deeds of these last 10 nights of Ramadan. He didn't do it by himself. He wake up everyone in the household. Shut the mizr. Shut the means that he will tighten his belt for him to be able to stand and do the Qiyamul Layl, do the tahajjud, do the night of Ramadan, night of the last 10 days of Ramadan. So let me start with Ustad Muhammad Yahya. Yeah, we'll pose the first question to Ustad Muhammad Yahya. Right. So Ustad, why do you think that we need to act on, multiply, double up, roll our sleeves during this last 10 minute program. And we are addressing our students here where they are with their student life and we are going to be having our vacation, holidays. So you will have plenty of time to do the ibadah. Right? So Sir Yahya will talk to you about this.
Okay, thank you, Ustaz Adham. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, students. First of all, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for being here. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us His mercy and blessings. These last 10 days, these are days that are very important. So, as Muslims who are observing this Ramadan, we should try to make these last 10 days as our personal time, something exclusively dedicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That now we have fasted for 20 days, so how are we going to end this Ramadan strongly? And now as these last 10 days are approaching, we have a lot of narrations and also scholarly commentaries about the importance of this night. So one of the importance of this last 10 night of Ramadan, that these nights are full with mercy, forgiveness, and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how are we going to end this night very strongly? This is something that we can ask ourselves, and we have to, as Ustaz earlier said, like we have to be stronger because it's not easy. But we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easier for us. And among the popular hadith that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam trying to encourage real Muslims, he said, "Man qama Ramadan." Man qama here, like you wake up at night, you leave your bed, you leave social media, you leave all distractions, then you dedicate that time for the sake of Allah. Then Prophet said, "Iman wa ihtisaban." You stand up at night, out of faith. You don't do it because your friends are doing it. You don't do it because you are being forced. You do it voluntarily. You do it for the sake of Allah. Then Prophet said, غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنبِهِ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is meant to wipe all your previous sins. And we commit sins on a daily basis. So if this last 10 nights can guarantee all your previous sins to be wiped off, then I believe this is something that we should not take lightly.
Thank you very much, Ustaz Muhammad. Okay, right. I'm going to start with the tips. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about what you have in front of you. Tip number one. Tip number one says that you avoid sins during daytime. Now, what we're talking about is the night of Ramadan, the last 10 nights of Ramadan. But we have to remember that Ramadan is a cycle. Okay, remember when I told you earlier that Rasulullah says, "Man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi." Whoever fasts during the month of Ramadan with only two conditions, imanan wa ihtisaban, with iman, with faith to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and hoping the rewards of Allah, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi, you will be forgiven of your past sins. And the hadith that Ustaz Muhammad Yahya just now said, "Man qama Ramadan," whoever stands during the night of Ramadan. Stands here means standing during the ibadah. Okay, what do you get? غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنبِهِ. The same thing, you will get forgiveness of your past sins. So, Ramadan is a cycle of 24 hours a day. Throughout 30 days, one whole month of Ramadan. So, if we are preparing for our nights of Ramadan, our last 10 nights of Ramadan, we need also to make sure that our daily time is ready for that night time. Ready here means some people will say that I need to take longer nap during daytime in order for me to stay up awake during night time. This is your physical ready. Okay. Some people say that I need to prepare my mental, okay, so that I will be able to stay up awake the whole last 10 nights of Ramadan. Doing good deeds, doing Quran, doing dua, doing ibadah. That is your mental preparation. But what about your spiritual preparation? So the spiritual preparation is that you avoid sinning during the daytime of Ramadan, during these coming days, balance of the days. We need to look back. You need to look back. I need to look back. All of us need to look back. From the first day of Ramadan, what had I done during my daytime? Did I fill my daytime with good deeds, with ibadah? Or my daytime goes as usual? Gaming, Netflix episodes, reels, memes. Was it the same as the days of before Ramadan? Or did I manage to stop and hold myself from this days of Ramadan that has passed, from all of those things? Did I still sit down with my friends inside classroom, inside chat room, talking about people? Did I empty myself from slandering people? These are the things that we need to check. And when we check, we don't just stop there. Because we are preparing for the best days coming. Best nights coming. So best nights must start with best days. So these coming days, we stop. If we are still with that, we need to stop. We need to hold ourselves. Because why? Trust me, if we are not that ready, you are not that ready during daytime, you will not be able to get the best of the night. Okay? When we are still doing daytime with reels, with memes, with all of those social media life, you will during nighttime also be with them. You will not be able to empty yourself nighttime just for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. The second tips is about the nighttime. You need to limit nighttime conversation. Conversation with who? Conversation with other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So your nighttime is going to be only you and Allah. You and Allah. You will converse a lot. You are going to be having a lot of conversation, but with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Reading His words, talking to Him. How do you talk to Allah? Dua. When you talk to Allah, dua. Do you know that Iblis, our biggest enemy, Iblis, say dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you didn't talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during night time, you are worse than Iblis. If we don't talk to Allah in dua, we are worse than Iblis, because Iblis himself in Surah Sad, when he is being punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what did he say? Rabbi anzirni ila yawmi yub'athun. He said, Rabbi, Iblis, talk to Allah in a dua. He says, Rabbi, oh my God, oh my Lord, let me delay my punishment to the day of judgment. Ila yawmi yub'athun. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied to him by saying, فَإِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمُنْصَرِينَ. Yes, you are among those who are delayed their punishment. You see, Iblis asked from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we do not talk to Allah, we don't ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are worse than Iblis. We need to talk and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, in order to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to listen, we need to cut the conversation with others. If not, we're going to get into that conversation. And by conversation, because nowadays conversation doesn't only, the mukarama, the shabahiyya, the oral conversation. Nowadays conversation can be also with typing, writing. Okay, you get into your chat room, you get into your WhatsApp text group, Discord, all of those things that you have. So many apps nowadays about this. These are conversations. And if you get into this kind of conversation, you see, Rasulullah SAW limit his nighttime conversation because it is only special to Allah SWT in this last 10 nights of Ramadan. Because why? Because we don't know. This is the secret of Laylatul Qadr. We don't know when. Can you imagine if Allah SWT let us know when is Laylatul Qadr? The rest of the nights of Ramadan, people will be like, doing shopping, relaxing, and then we concentrate on that particular night. That particular night, you will not find any empty space in masjid, in musalla, in any place, because everyone in this world will be sitting there hoping for the night. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it as a secret. And Rasulullah says, the harri bilaylatul qadr. You have to hunt. You have to hunt. When you have to hunt, means that you have to be alert. You have to always be on the lookout. Where is it? When is it going to come? So you need to be ready always. And you are going to ask every night. Because one of the night is going to be Laylatul Qadr. If you do it consistently on every night, one of it is going to be Laylatul Qadr. One of it is going to be the night where you sit down with Jibreel alayhi salam, raising your dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I still remember, okay, back when I was young, and people used to take this as, as big as for granted. Night time of Ramadan, okay, one of the years, all of you here in front of me, and not one can attend, in the year of 2006, where World Cup that year. World Cup that year, France in Ramadan. And I'm one of the person who cannot miss any game in World Cup. I will watch every game in World Cup, be it my team or not my team. So during the month of Ramadan, World Cup is played, 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30. I was telling myself, trying to tell myself that it's okay, I can stay up for the games. At the same time, I can do the tahajjud. Okay? I'm telling myself that I can do that. What happened was, it goes with the game only. Because why? Because some of the games get carried until the penalty shootout. And penalty shootout will carry until the Fajr time. We miss the whole night. So, this is my personal experience I'm sharing with you. And I regret that year, at the end of Ramadan, I regret. Wallahi, I said, this is something that I shouldn't do. But why does it happen? Because I am spending some part of the night for other things other than my conversation with Allah. So, starting on that day, I say to myself that whatever comes, be it World Cup or anything, I will not get involved in any conversation during this last 10 days of Ramadan. Try to avoid jilsa, try to avoid any events that will get you, away from doing all of this that Allah SWT asks us to do. You are to engage, for example, groups of halaqatul Quran. Okay? If you are sitting together with other people, make sure that this group of people are only seeking the rida of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this last 10 nights of Ramadan. If you sense that this group that I am sitting are talking about something else, stop. Stand up. Go away from that group. Okay? Because why? We want to maximize our conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this last 10 nights of Ramadan. So that's 2 tips for me. First, avoid any sins during the day. And we are talking about the simplest sin. As simple as you are thinking bad about your friends. As simple as that. Thinking, not saying, thinking. And the second thing is that you empty your nights from any other conversation except with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right. Let me get to Miss Shahira. Okay, Shahira will continue with the next two tips and all of you to listen carefully where she will be sharing some of her insight and some of her experiences.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you so much to Sazha for this opportunity to be with you today, sharing and discussing about the special nights. Okay, last 10 days of Ramadan that we have been waiting for. Okay, so when Ramadan comes, people describe Ramadan with so many beautiful names. They call it as a month of forgiveness, a month of blessings, month of mercy. Okay, and one of the names that I like very much when people describe this Ramadan as a month where a festa of ibadah happens. Okay, so it's true. If you can see that during this month of Ramadan, we can see people come together, go to the masjid, do a lot of ibadah, and with this kind of environment, we are very excited and we get motivated to join this fiesta because we don't want to be among those who are left behind and miss the rewards that have been promised to us by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Right? Okay, so Ustaz Har just now has shared with you the tips of how to maximize the last 10 nights of Ramadan, and I'm going to add some more, share with you. Okay, so the first tip is related to something that is very close to our hearts, okay, which is increasing the recitation of the Quran. Okay, so talking about Al-Quran, let me share with you something that was shared with me by somebody that is very dear to my heart. Okay, she said, it sounds like this. If you want to check your relationship with Allah, then you need to check your relationship with the Quran. Okay, so when I heard about it, okay, if I'm not mistaken, it was last year, last 2 years. Okay, but until now, it's still stuck in my mind. When I first heard about it, it hit me so hard to the core of my heart. Okay, it makes me reflect and think about my relationship with the Quran in order for me to check my relationship with my Creator. Okay, so as discussed just now, like Ustaz has said, okay, during this Ramadan we multiply our ibadah because we have been promised with abundance of rewards. Okay, so Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, okay, during his time, okay, he was able to finish or to khatam the Quran in 3 days during Ramadan. Okay, but then in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, he speed up, okay, the recitation that he was able to finish it in 1 night. Okay, khatam every night, the last 10 nights of Ramadan. So this is, we can see the trend of the Salah, whereby they increase the recitation of Quran during this last 10 days of Ramadan, and we want to do the same thing. Okay, I believe that it's not easy. Even for me, to finish 1 juz per day is already challenging. Okay, but then thinking about how amazing Ramadan is, okay, in other months, we are always occupied with so many tasks to complete in a day. Okay, but then during Ramadan, we still do the same routines, complete the same tasks, but surprisingly, we are able to do more ibadah as compared to other months. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, we are chasing, we are hunting, we are waiting for the rewards that have been promised to us. So this is we are driven by that force that we want to get His rewards. Okay, we want to please Him, so we will do whatever that we want. Okay, in order for you to be able to achieve this mission, okay, to increase the recitation of our Quran. Okay, number one, I believe that it's very important for us to have a clear picture of why we want to do it. Okay, of course, we want to get His blessings, we want to get His rewards, we want to please Him. Okay, once we are very clear of what we want, okay, then we figure out how to do it. Okay, for example, number one, set a special schedule for Quran every day. Okay, how many times do I have to read? Okay, how many pages do I have to read in order to achieve my mission? Okay, and then find a place, a comfortable place, a quiet place, so that when we are comfortable, we can focus even more. Okay, to accomplish this mission. Okay. And then find a buddy, get somebody to achieve this mission. Okay, set a goal. Okay, let's do this together, because when we are alone, we get distracted easily. But then when we have somebody that can remind us, and then we will be more motivated. Correct? Okay. So number three, I would say that it's good to keep on reminding ourselves about the rewards that are waiting for us. Okay, over time, just keep on reflecting of what is waiting for this very good practice, reading Al Quran. During my time, I remember I used to, whenever I read something nice, especially regarding the rewards that Allah has promised us, I used to write it in a small note and paste it on a mirror in my room. So whenever I go to the mirror, okay, to use the mirror, I would see it, and then I would be reminded. Because we always need to be reminded, and when we are reminded, we get so motivated to do it. Okay. Okay, what else? Another thing. Okay, if let's say just now I said about the reward, right? Think about how merciful Allah is, how how you can get very close to Allah for every letter that you read, that you recite every day. Each letter that you recite will get you closer to Allah. So let's do this together, inshallah. This last 10 nights of Ramadan, we will try our best to increase our recitation of Quran. Okay? Alright. That is for tips number 3. Okay, tips number 4. Make dua of Laylatul Qadr. Okay, anybody knows what the dua is? Yes. Allah? Okay. Yes, correct. Okay, Aisyah radiallahu anha. Okay, he asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, if I find myself in Laylatul Qadr, what should I recite? So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. What does it mean? Oh Allah, you are the forgiver. You love to forgive, so forgive me. Okay, I first knew this dua when I was about 6 to 7 years old, when I followed my parents to masjid for Tarawih. So I found out that this special dua was being repeated so many times. Okay, the Imam repeated this dua after every salah, the Tarawih time. So I didn't even understand the meaning. Okay, until I got to know the meaning. It's very simple, the dua is very short, but it's very close to our heart. Okay, to ask for forgiveness from Allah. So, can we recite this together? Okay, let's try. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbu afwa fa'fu anni. Allahumma innaka. Again? Louder. Afuwwun tuhibbu afwa fa'fu anni. Okay, one more time. We do it together, okay? Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Ya Allah, you are the forgiver. You love to forgive, so forgive me. Okay. Making dua is a very special way of communicating to our Creator, God. I find comfort in making dua when I'm worried about something, okay, about something that is out of my control. Okay, so I think the most comforting way to do is to make dua. Um, when you want something, when you ask for something from your loved ones, from your parents, from your best friends, okay, you know that because they love you, so they want to grant you, they want to grant your wishes. But then, as human beings, we know that human beings have limitations. But with Allah, He will give. He is able to give anything that He wants. Okay, so this last 10 nights of Ramadan, let's recite this dua throughout the night. Okay, we have our long list of wishes that we want to ask from Allah. So why not we start our dua to Allah at night? We start with this dua and we also end with this dua. Okay, so I really hope that we are among the people who are chosen to be the special guests to meet Laylatul Qadr, inshallah.
Thank you, Shamira. Just a little bit I would like to add. Okay, Ibn Jawzi, one of the scholars, one of your scholars, he said that, okay, he said the dua that we ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about forgiveness, about something that we don't see, is what we call is the reason why our heart is ta'alluq, our heart is still hooked to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine if you are asking something from your parents, like for example, I need 100 ringgit. Okay, you keep on asking, and then the day you get 100 ringgit, maybe you will not be seeing them as many times as before you get it. Before you get the 100 ringgit, every minute you will come to them, please, you will help them, you will do this, you will service them. The moment you get it, that's it. So when we ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni, we do not know whether Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted or not. But we are hoping for that. So you keep on asking every night. Because why? Because that is the hook that is holding you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as Shaykh just mentioned just now, keep on asking this dua and other dua as well, especially this dua because it's been mentioned by Rasulullah. This is a special dua for Laylatul Qadr. Okay, Ustaz Yahya. So our students, they will go for holiday. Okay, they will go for holiday, and the last 10 days, this is something special. You don't get it at any other simple school. Okay, you don't get it. The government school, they will go until near to Hari Raya. Okay, but you are all being given holidays for the last 10 days of Ramadan, 10 days and 10 nights of Ramadan. Meaning that they have plenty of time. And among the things that they can do is the Salat al-Jama'ah, praying in congregation. What would you like to advise based on your experience, maybe about this Salat al-Jama'ah and some tips from you?
Okay, thank you, Ustaz. Assalamu alaikum again, students. Okay, before I come to answer the question of our Ustaz, I'll just give a brief recap about first the last 10 days. The last 10 days, they are very special. And one of the speciality of this last 10 days is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Tanazzalu malaikatu wa ruhu fiha." That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send out the angels and also Jibril alayhi salam with us to come and stay with us when we are worshiping Allah. And there is a uniqueness where there is a hadith that Prophet Muhammad told us that if you make dua at the time where the angels are saying Ameen, that may Allah answer your dua, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to respond to that dua. And also the last night, especially the night of Qadr, is a night where our destinies are going to be shaped. So we have to be, alhamdulillah, we have to be constant and be positive and also optimistic to be prayerful during this night. To answer the question of Ustaz, the congregational prayer, as we always try to repeat, is more important than even our fasting. And there is hadith there, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, he said, the most beloved worship that Allah gives to him, that Allah loves from his servant, are the worship that he prescribed. He made it mandatory. And the most important pillar of Islam is what? Is the Salah. Is the Salah. And also, as we the men, it should be non-negotiable. We have to pray in Jama'ah. Also, we have to pray in the mosque. Especially when it comes to Fajr and Isha. Because there is hadith where Prophet Muhammad said, من صلى العشاء في جماعة فكأنما قام نصف الليل ومن صلى الفجر في جماعة فكأنما قام نصف الليل. He said, whoever pray the Isha Salat in congregation, you pray with the people, you will have a reward of someone who has waked up and prayed half of the night. Similarly, if you pray the Fajr with what? With the Jama'ah in congregation, you will have a reward of someone who prays half of the night. So it's like praying these two salat in the masjid and also in Jama'ah, you will have a reward of someone who prays the whole night. And also there is a hadith where Prophet said, "Man salla al-bardayn dakhala al-jannah." Whoever prays the two cold prayers, and one of the two cold prayer is what? Is the Fajr. If you pray the Fajr on time and with Jama'ah, Prophet said, dakhala al-jannah, that person is guaranteed to enter Jannah. And also, Ustaz, there is a hadith that for us since we are kids, and alhamdulillah, our parents were very strict, very strict. They won't even tell you to pray. This is something like they will remind you to pray. If they remind you, it's a problem. So most times the adhan meet us in the mosque. My father will never tell you to pray. He will never tell you. And if he goes to the mosque without meeting you in the mosque, then that is going to be a huge problem for you. So this is how we grow up. So at the end, it becomes part of you. So there is no way you can miss prayer. So, and we the men, especially the students, there is a hadith where Prophet said, Salatul Jama'ah, say ta'adil or after min Salatul Fardhi, bisabi wa ishirina daraja. When you pray in Jama'ah, in congregation, you have a reward of, we have a reward more than the person who prays alone for 27 degrees. Like you have a 27 degree or layers of reward more than the person that prays individually. So to continue from that, during this last night, there are a lot of things that you can put in place. So first of all, you have to ask yourself, what are you trying to achieve during this last night? You must have a target. You must have a target. It's like you coming to school, doing all your assignments, working hard, doing all your quizzes. You have a target. Your target is what? Is one to have a good result, and secondly to what? To what? Yeah, to succeed. And also to say thank you to your parents. So similarly, during this last night of Ramadan, we can have our target. And one of the targets should be to seek the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Mr. Shaila said, this one that Allah, you forgive sins and you like to forgive sins. So forgive me. So one of the essence of this last night, you seek what? The forgiveness of Allah. It's like a person who goes to Makkah for Hajj. You work a lot, you earn a lot of money, then later you buy ticket, you go to Makkah. Only 5 days. The entire Hajj is only 5 days. But what is the essence? So that Allah will forgive you. So we should have this in our mind that we are standing up this last night so that Allah will forgive us. And one of the ways that we can try to achieve this is to see where we are weak. What distracts us, what takes us away from achieving these things. Sometimes, as I mentioned earlier, it's social media. I come to this part again, Ustad, the family we are coming from, we are not allowed to have smartphones until university. Yeah, I started getting exposed to social media when I was in Medina. We are not allowed. And secondly, we don't have a TV at home. Until now, we don't have TV. So we don't have TV at home. So mostly we are being detached from the dunya mostly. Because after school you are at home, reading Quran, making Azkar, you can only go outside with permission. And your parents have to know where you are going. Until when? So mostly we the guys, we don't go out after Isha. So you only go outside for Isha, so that after Isha you come back home. So until now, it's very difficult for me to go outside during that hour because I find it very difficult. It's become like a daily habit. So it's to minimize distractions. Take your phone, put it aside, minimize social media, minimize watching TV, watching games, and also like going to TikTok and all these things. Focus, try to discipline yourself. It's how you try to tame yourself. It's like a habit. If every day you are reading Quran, with time it becomes part of you. If every day you are telling lies, with time 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 it becomes part of you. So it's how you train yourself. So Alhamdulillah for us until now, I'm just trying to share. Until now, every day when I wake up in the morning, I have to read Quran because this is how we are brought up. You cannot go to school without reading Quran. Our father will wake up us, and they will wake us before Fajr. So we are going to prepare for Fajr Salah. Then we are going to read Quran like time for 1 hour, take shower, then go to school. This is how we were brought up, and until the Alhamdulillah, that's like being practiced by our entire family, me, my sister, and everybody within the family, even our dad, until now. And also the other thing here, back home in our country, the way we pray Tarawih here, this is the same way we pray Tahajjud, the last 10 days of Ramadan. We don't pray it at home. We pray it in the mosque with the Jama'ah, with everybody. We have an Imam, the Imam will lead the Salah, just like Tarawih. We pray from 12 to 3. Every day until the last 10 days ends. Yeah. And also, during the last 10 days, also like our mothers, our sisters, everybody will go. Everybody will go. So sometimes they will cook and they do sharing, just like the olden days. Yeah, so like the everybody will cook, bring food, we eat together, then after eating, then we continue with the salad. And one way also you can avoid distractions or you can try to increase your reward during this last 10 days. Normally what I do, I have my target. The target is you pray 2 rakats, and because this is the Hajj, you have to make it longer. Then after you say salam, you sit down, you make istighfar like 100 times. You make subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah 100 times. Then also you read the Quran for 10 minutes. Then after that, during this interval, you stand up again, you pray. This is normally how I do. Alhamdulillah, until now, this is what I do. I pray 2 rakat during the interval. I make supplications. I pray to Allah, ask forgiveness. I make istighfar. Also, I read Quran. Then I wake up. I stand up again. Then I make another 2 rakat until I finish the last 10 days. And the other thing here also we can try to do, as Usama Tahira said, we can try to motivate ourselves. Find someone who is more serious than you in Ibadah. You make them as friends. You get closer to them. They can motivate you. They can motivate you. They can inspire you so that you can do more. Because sometimes, as Usama said, if you are alone, sometimes you feel a bit relaxing. But the most important thing, try to avoid social media. Ustaz, some of us, even when we are trying to memorize Quran, even though like the timing was not there, but I have seen friends who memorize Quran in school. Yeah, in school, Ustaz. They have free time in the interval between the classes. They will find a corner and try to revise what they have memorized until they finish school while they are kuffar. Because the Quran is very easy to memorize. Within 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you finish the Quran. But it's how dedicated you are, how you love it. So similarly, if you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this 10 nights, you will do things that are pleasing and also things that will make Allah to love you more. To love to love you more. And the other thing here that will make Allah love you more is charity. Sadaqah. During the Ramadan, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he is the most person who gives charity more than everyone. We don't have a specific hadith where Prophet dedicated the last 10 days to give charity more than the other days of Ramadan. Well, however, since we are trying to get more reward during this last 10 nights of Ramadan, we can also sometimes give charity. And how can we give charity? Look for someone that you are better than in many things. I have seen people who, even to have what they can take for iftar, they don't have. And sometimes they don't ask. And sometimes they don't need to ask. Because sometimes we, the Muslims, it's our duty to ensure that everybody feels safe and everybody feels sufficient around with. And also, this is one of the essence of the Jama'ah prayer. Why are we together if we are not talking to each other? Because one of the essence of Salatul Jama'ah in the mosque is so that we can build a community. We can live together as one ummah. Allah said, وَإِنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّةُكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً. We are one ummah. And one of the means that can unify us or that can unite us is for us to be seeing ourselves all the time in the mosque. This also can help us to know each other and also sometimes maybe invite one another to cafes or even the houses to build a family. So try to know your neighbor, try to know your friends, what are they lacking, and you try to give more charity. Because during this last night of Ramadan, you are looking for reward. You are looking for reward. So that sadaqah increases that reward. And Prophet Muhammad said, "Sadaqah tusil tudfi'u ghadab ar-Rabb." He said that the charity given in secret extinguishes the wrath or the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't give people charity and you start talking about it. Or you try to post it on social media, or you try to make a selfie. Do it for yourself. For yourself. And also at the same time, we are trying to help humanity. Sometimes we ask, how can we help Gaza? How can we help Palestinians? How can we help Sudanese? But the people around you that are in need, how are you helping them? How are you helping them? And last but not the least, let us, during this Ramadan, one also that could help you focus in the last 10 nights is to invite your family. Invite your family, engage them. Engage your family, your wife, your kids, your father, your brother, engage them. Sit with them in the mosque. Discuss the importance of Islam, the importance of Ramadan, the importance of Ramadan and Ramadan. Make it something special, something unique. Share with them. Listen to lectures. Okay? This is how we can maximize the reward. And lastly, before I stop here, let us know that this is a chance and this is a privilege. We start sometimes while I'm worshiping Allah, while I'm praying, I realize that Allah has given me a privilege. It's like working. It's like when you have been employed, you have been given a privilege, even though you are paid, but you have to perform. It's a privilege. So similarly, when Allah gives you the chance to pray, He gives you the chance to give sadaqah, He gives you the chance to recite the Quran. This is a privilege. This is a privilege. Don't take it for granted. And finally, when you are making dua, don't say, I have made dua, Allah will answer. The most important thing, Allah gave you the chance to make dua. This is the most important thing. Don't say, I've been praying to Allah for a long time, Allah didn't give me this. No. Allah has given you the chance to make dua. This is more than enough. And this is the time we can use that chance, that privilege that has been given to us, so that we can make more dua. Let us make dua for our family, for our parents, for ourselves, and also for our oppressed brothers in Gaza, for our brothers in Sudan, for our brothers everywhere. So inshallah, I'll stop here. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Students, I'm going to repeat what I said earlier when we had our session, where when I was at your age, I never knew about the I'tikaf. I never knew about you spending nights in masjid. You spend the last 10 nights of Ramadan. I only do the normal Tarawih. 20 rak'ah, go back home, sleep, morning, suhoor, then continue fasting, nighttime Tarawih, only that. But you are so lucky. We are all so lucky to have these sessions where teachers are sharing their insight and their experience. How? Okay, this is where you should listen and take lessons from it. How am I going to plan this last 10 nights of Ramadan? Okay, so I'm coming to Miss Teacher Fatih. Okay, Teacher Fatih. When Mr. Yahya just now said that the chances for our students to do Salat al-Jama'ah, Salat in congregation, is more because now you have holiday after this. So make sure that 5 of the prayers you go to the masjid, you pray with the Jama'ah. And by doing this, Shabbat, means that they are increasing the worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they are also increasing their sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? But being human, some of us like to lack of focus. Okay, we tend to wander around, doing while traveling also sometimes we wander around. So with the tahajjud also maybe we can get away astray. So how would you advise them about this? And maybe you would like to share some of your insight and experience as well. Yes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. First of all, thank you so much, Ustaz. Okay, before I start, I would like to ask everyone, how many of you guys already start planning for your last 10 nights of Ramadan? How many of you guys already start now, before even you reach the last 10 days of Ramadan? How many of you will inshallah start planning after this? Okay, alhamdulillah, inshallah. So one of the things that I remember Ustaz said this quite frequent also, Ustaz, about those they seek for the night of decree with faith. They stand up for them to perform any of the act of ibadah with faith and also with hope that Allah will give them reward. So all their sin will be forgiven. Okay? And one of the best act of ibadah, of course, prayer. And one of the best part of prayer will be what? The sujood. Why? Because it's a time where you get closer to Allah. And this is what been shared to us. Again, this is actually one of the last ayah in Surah Al-Ahzab, where, okay, are you guys good? Okay, so it's been mentioned that prostrate and come closer. And there is a hadith being said as well, being reported by, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's from Sahih Muslim, says please correct me if I'm wrong. So the closer a servant to their God is during the sujood. Okay, so you make a lot of supplications during that time. So I'm pretty sure all of us, we have something that we want. We want forgiveness from Allah. We want a good health. We want to be in a good Muslim, inshallah. We want to pray for our parents, for our family, for our friends, for our teachers. And as for me, I will pray for my students, inshallah. So, what can we do during the last night of Ramadan? Last 10 nights of Ramadan? What is that? I heard somebody say something. Pardon me? Pray with your mom? Play, okay. Not playing, we are not talking about playing now. Okay, so you can increase the time where you do your sujood. So to talk about this, it reminds me of my late father. Okay, when I was in your age, I'm not so into nighttime prayer. I must admit this. But then every single night I will hear my dad and my mom, they are reciting Quran. And then they will perform the Sunnah prayer. So we the siblings, of course, we're gonna go for sleep, of course. Okay, we don't bother much. But I still remember there is one day we are having our suhoor time. He said to us, you still have time before the Fajr prayer. Why don't you guys go and perform your Sunnah prayer? 2 rak'ah Sunnah prayer is enough. So we started our journey of having that at your age. I still remember that one. I was in your age back then. So later in life, I met my friends. Her name is Azmin. She's somebody always wake up for her nighttime prayer. And she always said this to us. She's way more older than us. She always said that if you guys have anything you want to ask Allah, ask during the nighttime prayer. Where you pour your heart and soul, and subhanAllah, how much the peaceful, how much peace the moment's gonna be, and how much calm the situation gonna be, even though you come to him with all broken pieces of you. And then you ask him, and sometimes you cannot even utter your words. You just keep on crying to him. But then after that, you have faith that he will surely grant your dua. After you make any of the dua, you must have the faith that he will surely grant my dua. And also, I still remember, Ustaz, you shared with us last time, even if the dua is not being granted, the dua is actually an act of ibadah. So it's being counted as one of the good deeds that you already done. So one of the best way for us to ask Allah is when you are in your sujood and ask Him, because He will grant everything. We humble ourselves in front of our Creator. We know that we are the servant. We know we are in need of our God. And one more thing for sure, that our heart is actually being engineered in the way that the default setting is that we need our God. For example, something happened to us, the first thing we say, Allah. Why? Because that's the default setting of a human being. We will look back to our God. So make a lot of dua for the last 10 days of Ramadan. And while you're making dua for yourself, don't forget to make dua for every single person, every single Muslim, okay, and your family member, those who already passed away, and then our friends, our teachers, and also all the people that we love. Okay, so that is one of the sharing. Other than that, we always heard that we can make like a lot of dua during the iftar time. So, near to the iftar time, make a lot of dua. So one of the things that you can do is that while you are waiting for your Fajr time, while you are waiting for your Fajr prayer, okay, while you are so busy doing a lot of things. I'm telling you because why? Last 10 days of Ramadan, for Malaysian tradition, we have been so busy of preparing for Eid. Okay, those who are living in Malaysia, they already see this trend. So my family also, some sort of like that. But then, sometimes we're already so tired of cleaning the house, preparing everything, decorating the house and stuff, until we get so tired. So we need to plan our time well. That is one thing. Other than that, while you are waiting for your Fajr prayer, you still have time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the Fajr prayer. Maybe you can increase the time for you to make dua, to ask Allah for His forgiveness. Okay? So we ask Allah a lot for forgiveness, and imagine if it falls in Laylatul Qadr. So inshallah you will get a lifetime of reward. And imagine that you are making the dua to Allah. We humble ourselves enough. Oh Allah, forgive me. Oh Allah, accept my deeds despite of my shortcomings. Oh Allah, accept me despite of my shortcomings. And imagine you make that dua and it falls in Laylatul Qadr. Inshallah, you will get a lifetime of reward. So let me ask you again, which point we are in right now? Which points according to the So I'm already telling you point number 8 and 7. 9. Okay, so what is the first point just now? What is my first point? Making a lot of sujood. Second, zikir or making dua before Fajr prayer. Ask Allah for forgiveness. Okay? So inshallah, may Allah accept our ibadah and may Allah forgive us, forgive our sin and our parents and all the people that we love. So that's much for Jesus. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Yeah. Up until now, you have 8 tips already. Okay, we're gonna listen. We're gonna listen to tips number 9 and 10 now from Teacher Hilal. Okay, and listen carefully. And after this, after he finish, I will call one girl and one boy here, and we will do the 1 until 10 tips. And there will be prizes, inshallah. Okay, there will be prizes for those who get exactly correct 10 tips. Please share.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Ustaz Azhar, for giving me the opportunity here.
Students,
Oh, okay, I start again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Ustaz Azhar, for giving me the opportunity to talk today. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulil karim, amma ba'd. There is an English saying that says that an empty vessel makes the biggest noise, but a closed one carries no substance. So open your hearts, give me your attention, so that whatever we hear today at the end of this session eventually wraps up the entire thing and we are able to act upon it. So as you are all aware now, we are already on our 9th day. Okay? We've talked about the prayers, we've talked about the du'as, we've talked about the sujood, charity, we've talked about what else is there? Limit conversation, avoid distractions, stand up at night, okay? So my tip for today would be is to complete your prayer on the last 10 nights with the Imam. Because the Prophet ﷺ said that whoever prays with the Imam until the Imam finishes, then he is counted, he will be written as those that had actually made Qiyam Layl, were stand up for the whole part of the night. And Imam Nawawi makes mention in Sharah Muslim that he says that Qiyam in Ramadan is praying Tarawih. Qiyam in Ramadan is praying Tarawih. So this means that all of us, we should pray Tarawih behind the Imam and remain with the congregation until the prayer is completed. Either the Imam is praying 11 rakat, or 13 rakat, or 20 rakat, we should complete the prayer behind the Imam and will be counted among those that have performed Qiyamul Layl. Now, if a person wants to pray the full 20 rakat, which is a normal practice, no doubt, since most of the fuqaha had actually encouraged and practiced on it. But let's say if a person is praying and he prays whatever amount of rakat with the Imam, and he stays with the Imam until the entire rakat is finished. And we know during Ramadan, witr is also advocated to pray with the Jama'ah, to pray in the Jama'ah. Why? Because that's one of the practice of the Salaf Salih. So hopefully, if you are able to do this, then inshallah, Allah will give us the same reward. And then, of course, the section also continues with sharing session of what they think. I still remember back when I was like 9 years old, 10 years old, I think, around that age. We went to a masjid. This masjid is not in Malaysia.
somewhere in several towns, usually. This masjid was a big masjid, and there were a lot of kids, like 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. So because kids, when people praying in the Tarawih, they are busy at the back. And nowadays we see teenagers, they are there at the masjid, but they are playing their games, Mobile Legends, FIFA, this football manager. They are playing at the back. So are they going to get the reward if they don't pray with the imam until the end? Yes, they were there until the end, but they were not praying. They were literally just spending their time at the back of there and maybe talking. So what they did was they had an adjacent hall next to the masjid, and they actually appointed a person. The person was a bully, and he was carrying a large staff, like stuff over cutting things for football. And his job was to make sure that after every salam, everyone should stand up. And because it was so burly and big, everyone was afraid of him. The minute Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and the Imam will stand up for the next rakah, everyone also stand up for the next. Everyone will stand up because afraid of that person. So it worked. And every one of them, I think, if I remember, it was a lot of kids, teenagers, 9 until 15, 16. I think I'm talking about hundreds here. The hall was very big, hundreds of kids. They're separated from the adults. And all of them played 23 attacks. And looking back at that, I think I see the significance of that, alhamdulillah, where we have developed the discipline to not only pray, but pray until the end of the Tarawih. So that is my first step. My next step, which since you know it's already 10, which is the last one, is to make abundance dua. Abundance dua. Not only you make dua, but you make abundance dua, because we know that in the days and the nights of Ramadan, this is the occasion where your du'as are readily accepted. It is the occasion. So we don't know the exact moment when our du'as will be accepted. So either we are moving, we are standing, we are sitting, we are lying down, whatever opportunities that come to us, we should make dua. In the hadith is narrated that Nabi Sallallahu used to make the dua, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min ilmin la yanfa, wa min qalbin la yakhsha, wa min nafsin la tashba, wa min da'wati la yustajabu lah. O Allah, I seek refuge from you from knowledge that does not benefit me, from a heart that does not entertain fear of Allah, from a soul that is not satisfied, and a supplication that is not answered. So imagine if Rasulullah was making this dua, this is how important the acceptance of dua is. Now you are given the opportunity during the time of Ramadan. Every single second is a blessed occasion for your duas to be readily accepted. And a large number of ahadith actually says that on the night of Laylatul Qadr itself, this is the actual moment where the duas are readily accepted. Yes, dua is very important. And if we leave it at any time, we are actually suffering at a great loss. Hope should not be lost, even when it seems that our dua is not accepted, because we don't know. Maybe Allah is not accepting our dua currently for the best benefit of ourselves. But that should not stop us from continuously making du'as and prayers towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very often, due to our lack of understanding, we are asking things from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which Allah knows that if He was to give us that what we ask, it would actually cause destruction upon ourselves. So He does not give us, but He gives us something else in return which is better than what we ask for. Imam Sufyan al-Thawri used to say that one of the most important ibadah during Laylatul Qadr is to make dua. And Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, he was of the opinion that we should not only remain busy with dua, but we should make salah, we should make qiyam, tilawah, we should make zikr, we should make istighfar, salawat, and all the other forms of worshiping Allah Ta'ala. And this is basically the most popular opinion. So, the best applications, of course, come from Allah Ta'ala and Rasulullah. Some of them are more powerful and concise than others, and it is best for us to practice this. There was a narration where once Rasulullah left his house on that day on his beloved consort Sayyidatina Juwairiyah radiallahu anha, before Fajr he left, she was in the place of Salah. She was making zikr. Rasul Sallallahu came back after sunrise and she was still staying in the same place. She was busy making zikr. Rasulullah Sallallahu said that, were you in the same condition that I saw you when I left the house? He said, yes, I was in the same condition that when you left the house, I was busy making zikr until you come back after sunrise. So he said, I have said, while I was just standing here, I have said a few words, 4 words. I have said it 3 times. Allah has given me the reward that is equivalent of what they have made zikr from Fajr to sunrise. And then he says that I have said, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi adada khalqihi wa rida nafsihi wa zinata arshih wa bidada kalimat. In a short time, given that this means that anything that is from Rasulullah is the most complete form of ibadah, supplication towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what can we make du'as on? The first one is du'as on our guidance and pure soul. Allahumma hdini wa saddidni ya mukallibal qulub sabbit qalbi ala dinik. Okay, make dua for hidayah, for guidance, for istiqamah. Next, we make dua for our forgiveness. The Sayyidul Istighfar that we've always heard about, we should make a lot of Sayyidul Istighfar. Allahumma anta rabbi la ilaha illa anta khalaqtani wa ana abduka wa ana ala ahdika wa wa'dika mastata'tu. A'udzu bika min syarri ma sana'tu. Abu'u laka bi ni'matika alayya wa abu'u bi dhanbi faghfir li fa innahu la yaghfiru dhunuba illa anta. Make forgiveness, dua for our parents, Rabbi Ghfirli wa liwalidayya warhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. Make dua, salutation upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Make dua on our pious predecessors. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. Make dua for our children. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا وارحمهما كما ربيانا صغيرا. And of course, don't forget to make dua forgiveness for ourselves. Allahumma اغفر لي ما قدمت وما أحسست وما أسررت وما أعلنت. أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر وأنت على كل شيء قدير. And of course, the third thing we should ask for is ask for bounties and blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The most complete dua that Rasulullah used to recite a lot. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. The dua that he used to teach Sayyidina Mu'az radiallahu anhu, do not leave this dua after you've completed every prayer. Allahumma inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. So this dua is very important, okay? And then we ask dua that Allah gives us a good ending. Rabbi tawaffani musliman wa alhiqni bis-salihin. And then we ask dua that Allah gives us all the goodness of this world, hidayah. Allah gives us good life. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-huda wal-tuqa wal-afaqa wal-ghina. And of course, a comprehensive dua. Allahumma inni as'aluka min khayri kullihi ajilihi wa ajilihi ma alimtu minhu wa ma lam a'lam wa a'udhu bika min sharri kullihi ajilihi wa ajilihi ma alimtu minhu wa ma lam a'lam. Allahumma inni as'aluka min khayri ma sa'alaka 'abduka wa nabiyyuka wa a'udhu bika min sharri ma adabihi adabuka wa nabiyyuka. Wallah, I ask from you that all that is good in this world and hereafter. What I know and what I do not know. Oh Allah, I seek refuge with you from all evil in this world and in the hereafter. What I know and what I don't know. Oh Allah, I ask you for the good that your slave and the Prophet has asked you. And I seek refuge with you from the evil from which your slave and Prophet sought refuge. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-jannah wa ma qarraba ilayha min qawlin aw amal wa a'udhu bika min an-nar wa ma qarraba ilayha min qawlin aw amal wa as'aluka an taj'al kulla qada'in qadaytahu li khayran. So these are some of the du'as that you can recite, make in abundance, and you can refer to various kitabs and book of Al-Azkar where the dua from the Prophet is given. And I would like to end my tips today with an ayah that makes us have reflect and have made this up on what we could achieve by being a righteous person. Sometimes people don't know what do I actually get by being a righteous person. Saleh. All of us desire acceptance, we desire love, we desire appreciation. Allah says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات سيجعل لهم الرحمن ودا. Certainly those who believe and do righteous deeds, Allah Ta'ala shall make them beloved in this world. And this is from Surah Al-Maryam, verse 96. And as a personal to constantly keep yourself focused and remain the ability to perform ibadah and make dua. My personally, what I would do is I would spend the last 10 days of Ramadan in Itikaf. And because during Itikaf, the ibadah becomes easier because of the environment. The du'as keep flowing with ease. Like every single time you keep making dua. The chance to be ibadah also increase. You perform all the 5 prayers in the Jamaat. Okay, you always have time. You don't think about anything else because you've left everything behind. And then we can take, it's not easy to do all the good deeds in one day. But being in the state of itikaf, Allah will give you the reward of doing all deeds. Just by doing itikaf, you get the reward of all deeds. Because Rasulullah says that the first person performing itikaf remains free from sin and he is given the same reward for those who do good deeds in spite of not able to do. And this is the report that I could mention. Last but not least, I would also like to advise you to stay steadfast and whatever good that you have started during this month of Ramadan, continue and make dua to Allah that Allah grant you istiqamah. I will close my session with a ayat from the Quran from Surah Al-Fusilat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ولكم فيها ما تشتهي أنفسكم ولكم فيها ما تدعون نزلا من غفور رحيم ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين صدق الله العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.
I will put a little bit for the dua. See, I'll share with you a lot of dua. Why is God? But some of us, we have difficulties in Arabic language. In those who are level 1 beginners, okay, it's very difficult for you to say the dua in Arabic. The best dua is the one that you understand. What are you asking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala understands every language. Whatever you need, customize your dua in your own language and ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The best is definitely the dua that come in Al-Quran and in Hadith. By Rasulullah. But if you cannot remember that, you cannot memorize that dua, you customize it in your own language. Malaysian will use Malay language. If you are Chinese from China, say the dua in Chinese language. In whatever language that you are good. Ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the deepest of your heart. And one thing I want to share about my personal experience, the one that really Mr. Bilal mentioned just now, about you finishing the Salat al-Layl with the Imam. This happened to me last week. You know, I'm old and I have some problem with my leg. Okay? So one of the night I met Sabiah here at the finish here at the masjid in Seven. I didn't do until the end of the Imam. I only do until 8. And then I go back home because of pain in my leg. I cannot stand until 20. The next morning I called my father. That's my custom in Ramadan. I will call them after. But on coming to school, I will call them when they come. When I talk to my father is 87 years old. Eh? And he's with, a lot of siblings, but he go to masjid 5 times a day. And I asked him about his tarawih. He said, Alhamdulillah, I finished with the Imam. Until then. Allahu Akbar. Allah slapped me on the face. Last night only. I didn't finish my salat with Imam. I'm complaining about my day. And my father is 87 years old. The next day I talked to him. He said, Alhamdulillah, I completed my salat with Imam. You see how? So, the best. Mr. Hilal mentioned this now. Rasulullah says, when you finish with the Imam, you get the reward of standing the whole night. So please, this, whatever remaining, whatever past is a regret. I told you earlier, look back from day 1 until yesterday, day 17, night of 18. What did we do? How did we do? If it's not good, then we regret. But we don't stay with that regret. We move on with whatever the tips of the 10 tips that you get today. Make sure that from tonight you're going to start with these 10 tips. Because why? This coming nights, one of it is the gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you remember in one of my khutbah, I told you about the story of the 2 persons. One is Shaheed, and another one died next year, not as a Shaheed, but he will go to Jannah earlier than the Shaheed. The one who died as a Shaheed, later. He earlier. Why? Because Rasulullah says he lived another Ramadan. He managed to get the best of the Ramadan. You imagine, if only one night you get the reward of more than 1,000 months. If you are able to get it every Ramadan, can you imagine the rewards that you get? Alright, before we end the session, we go back to the questions. Alright, I have here Amir Khan and I have Zainab. 72. Alright, I'm going to start with Zainab. Okay, say it loud and clear. Okay, Zainab?
Okay, so the first one is to avoid sinning during the day. The second one is to limit nighttime conversations. The third one is to increase reading of the Quran. The fourth one is to do the dua that place of Qadr. The fifth one is to pray in congregation. The sixth one is to give charity. The seventh one is to increase your sujood. Okay. The eighth one is to spend a moment before pleasure doing dhikr. The ninth one is to pray the Imam from start to finish. And the 10th one is to make dua when you're emotional.
Okay, thank you, Zainab. Okay. Quiet, good. Hey.
Bismillah. So the first point was to avoid sins during the day. Second one was to limit nighttime conversations. The third one was to increase your Quran recitations. The fourth one was to make the dua of Laylatul Qadr. Fifth one was to pray in congregation. Sixth one was to give the charity. The seventh one was to increase your sujood. The eighth one was to spend the last moments of Fajr in dhikr. Ninth one was to pray with the Imam until the end. And then one was to make the dua even out of the motion.
Alright, okay. Yourself. Alright. We've come to the end of our session today. Okay? From the deepest of my heart, I would like to thank the teachers for their sharing. Okay? It was such a beautiful sharing, actually. And a lot of things have been shared to you, and I really hope that all of us here will benefit from this last 10 nights of Ramadan. Students, let us end our session today by together we raise our hand. Okay, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, grant us Laylatul Qadr. Oh Allah, make us among those who will be able to stand on the night of Laylatul Qadr. Oh Allah, make us among those who will be forgiven by you from our past sins. Oh Allah, make us among those who you will free us from Jahannam. Oh Allah, make us among those who really fast during the daytime of Ramadan and stand during the nighttime of Ramadan, imanan wa ihtisaban. Oh Allah, we ask from you, Ya Allah, to make us among those who will get the best of this Ramadan. Oh Allah, we ask from you, Ya Allah, to grant us a meeting with Laylatul Qadr. Let us pray together with the angels and Jibreel alayhi salam. Let our dua be raised to you, Ya Allah. Grant all of our requests, Ya Allah. Make us among those who will graduate from the month of Ramadan with taqwa and forgiveness, Ya Allah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار والحمد لله رب العالمين. With that, I conclude our session today. Wassalamu alaikum.